Aloha, beautiful human beings, and welcome. My name is Krista Ralakshmi-Dettan, coming to you from beautiful Florida today. And I call myself a holistic wellness coach because I believe that each one of us are here to actually heal and reset our body, mind, and spirit. And this is what I have done over 23 years recently, would say internationally as well. It has been quite a journey through 32 countries, living in six different countries, and also so many journeys up to the mountains, down to the valleys. It's been very exciting, but also at times very challenging. So this video live I'm doing right now is a little reflection about like a couple of things which have happened during the last days and what is the process where I am right now currently. So welcome if you are here when I'm doing this live. So be so kind and just, leave a little note watching this live and where are you watching this as well. If you are watching this later, just put a little hashtag replay and tell me also where are you watching from. So recently I'm enrolled in another program with some really powerful people. And one of those coaches was very inspiring to also invite me to one of her new challenges. And as I was like really going deeper and sensing what this means and how I feel about it, I kind of like slid in, but not like fully, because I know with groups and stuff, I always kind of have to be careful as a mental projector and like other things as well. And fair enough, in no time already got to see like warning times, but in no time some huge things started to surface and triggers got activated and it just like kind of started a little roller coaster snowball effect. So, but what was born from this was like, I was thinking like, okay, so what is wrong with this picture for me? Like, I'm not saying that it's wrong per se, but for me, because many times we are going into other people's groups or challenges or things, and then we are not really checking in fully like who we are and why we're doing something, and does this even align with you? So I actually took all of those words of the title of the challenge apart and figured out that wow, many of these actually are not aligned with me. But I'm still part of this, like just as an observer, really interested to see like how these things are and so on. And not as an observer to judge anyone, but just to see like how things are done, and then also check in many times like how do I feel about it? Am I aligned? Does this word even aligns with me or not? And I haven't done it this way before, and I think why this is now popping up like this is because I'm really starting to embody my mental projector energy. So I'm not really, closing my eye about something when it's really not resonating or not really aligned with myself. So in this process, I just kind of whipped together a beautiful new Facebook group called Become Who or What You Love. And that's really resonating with me. And I didn't even call it a challenge, even though I'm going to do these videos in this group there for 30 days. And no push, no effort. I'm going to just share maybe a couple of those I put onto my timeline. So, people who don't know about the group can kind of like find it and go there. And really do it the feminine way. So becoming more invisible, more from invisible to visible. And then also sharing from like this deep serving feminine space. Really be and become who and what I love. And I have been there so many times, but with times I've also lost myself in like various ways or for various reasons and so on. And many of us, we have done that. So if that's the case with you as well, let me know in the comments, like if this really resonates with you. So I created the group, started to post like a little, input there. And I don't even call it a challenge, because challenge is a very masculine, very effort based word. So I call it like an adventure, exploration for 30 days to deep dive into the, divine feminine, because that's what it actually is. And I've been now for the last month also deep diving deeper into my inner child issues, because I started to observe that my inner child has actually been so dissatisfied and has so many wounds still, there, that it started to influence and cost me business. So I was like, okay, time to go deeper with this. So the way I do this experience, people can join this anytime they want and then start the countdown. I'll do a really beautifully organized guide where I put all of the live links. So if you join later and you don't want to like scroll forever, you can go there and just find all of the day by day and the topic as well. So it's very easily like organized. So I'll do that in the coming days. So as I was thinking about this, like in this other challenge, there's like 5 things you have to follow every day. So I was looking at those 5 things, and all of those 5 things I already do every day. There's no challenge for me when I already do it every day. And I thought like, wow, why is that so? Because I've taken several years to actually turn it into my lifestyle. And I don't know how many others, other than the coach herself, is doing this like effortlessly every day. And this is very rare. So I understood right away, like, okay, and I wanted to share like how this had been turned into my lifestyle and so on. And obviously the way I did it didn't work out so well. And that was also one of the ways which actually activated my pattern there. So I went really deep. I pour everything emotional out into my diary. I write in another language, which most people on the planet don't speak. So I really feel like I can really fully be honest and authentic there. And I did it for 2 days. I didn't even talk about it to my husband for 2 days. I wanted to really go deep and process, observe it, and figure out like what the heck is going on. So I started to see the connection between the inner child and inner woman. So if you're not familiar with the archetype work, I really would recommend you to do a little bit research. And I'll come into that also because it's going into how to do this exploration here. So I found out some beautiful connection, which I already have kind of earlier too, but I also figured out some other major revelations, because I'm also doing research right now to collect amazing information and stuff for my future program, how to let go of emotional eating and also food addiction, and reset all of that into like friendly relationship with your body and eating and food, and turn it into like a harmonic lifestyle for the rest of your life. So if any one of you who is here and listening to this live resonate and align with that, I'm actually collecting names for my first beta group very soon. So I made a major revelation about that, which I'm basically over 40 years old. And I was just so blown away. I was like, wow. And that's the gift of the triggers. So I'm very grateful for that particular coach to trigger me, because I needed that extra trigger for that extra pain, so that these things would surface and I could like observe them and really like figure out like, what is the connection here. So I figured that out. And then I realized like, I can't do this 30-day adventure here. I can't call it first a challenge, because it is not a challenge. I want this to be totally free flowing. And when we are talking about divine feminine wants to guide you. but most of the times we don't really give the divine feminine any possibility to be our guides, because we are always doing everything the masculine way. So when I'm going to follow these 5 steps, which she has, this is the masculine way. There's nothing, like maybe a little bit of feminine, at least in my sense, or like my alignment. So I was like, okay, so this is different. So how would I like to do it? So I am inviting people to come to this beautiful exploration and adventure in order to really connect to your divine feminine and start to get guidance from your divine feminine every day. I will share, like, things which come up from my divine feminine, which may be very similar or familiar or relevant to you right now. Maybe not right now, but maybe in the future. In any ways, it may trigger some ideas or thoughts or inspiration or motivation in you as well. But what I'm doing here is saying, I may be the guide. I may be, the guide for that exploration or adventure, but the biggest guide for you is your divine inner feminine, your inner woman. And she is the boss in a way. She's the boss of the logistics of the invisible and visible world. Most people don't have no clue about this, And this morning I was listening to a podcast while I was in the gym. And this is my way of really feeding my mind with good positive things. And there were 2 ladies talking. One was from America and one is Australian, who's living in Bali right now. And they were talking about literally about all the inner family archetypes, who in my case, I say inner child, inner woman, inner man. And as they were talking about it, I was like, wow, they are kind of going all around in that topic, kind of circles. And I was like, wow, maybe I should call the podcast host and say hey, would you like to go deeper with this? Because I have figured this out. You guys kind of went all around it, but I have kind of specified and made it much clearer and so on. And the difference is, once I started to actually, from my own personal experience, personify more of my inner child, inner woman, and inner man, my life started to change beyond this world. When your inner woman says hey, Crystal, you're going to go to Mexico with one-way ticket. How many women do you think in the Western world would just jump at it and go? So there are not too many people, I think. And so many women are also very scared to go alone to Mexico. And you should be. You should know really what you're doing, because there are lots of dangers connected to Mexico. So in my case, I already had been in that area. I already knew it. And I knew that I have to, follow the guidance. So I didn't have extra money for that. So I asked, but okay, I don't have extra money. So what would you recommend? The idea came to do an online product and sell it for €5 for 100 people. And I did it in no time. And I got that extra money, got my tickets, and was off. And I went for 1 week and I stayed for 4 years. And 1.5 years after I got there, I met Michael, my current husband, who we are celebrating 7-year anniversary. So it is not some fairy tale story oh yeah, Crystal, you were lucky. I married Michael when I was 41. So I kissed lots of frogs. I had very many bad relationships. I tolerated so much I shouldn't have, because there were so many inner patterns and inner things in my inner world which were totally out of balance. So what I'm inviting you with this experience is actually to really, with this 3rd day in this experience, to really kind of look deeper into your life and into your, stuff going around you, and just ask this simple question: is this aligned with me? Is this aligned with my body, mind, and spirit? And then see what happens. and you may start to get very clear communication from your divine feminine. No, this is bullshit, this is not okay, and you have to do it this way. And it takes some balls to really follow through your inner feminine guidance. I'll share one example from today, and that's one of the reasons also why this is a little later video. I didn't do it during the day. So yesterday when I was working, so I work part-time right now in the local metaphysical and bookstore. So yesterday was a very slow day, and even though slow days are good in the shop, so you don't have clients and you kind of try to figure out other ways you can entertain yourself or do stuff, then it's just the energy is just like, it's very heavy for me, who I'm like a high achiever, to just sit there and kind of think like all the things I could do at this time, and how I could like build my business, and then just sitting there. So, and then my inner woman gave me the idea that tomorrow is probably gonna be the same. I have the feeling, and your inner woman actually can, look into the future, into the past, into the current moment. She has access to all of your timelines at the same time. So she can really guide you on a deep level. So she was saying, tomorrow after both of your coworkers have had lunch, just ask them if this is okay, that you will go home a little earlier, so that you can help your mother-in-law who just moved here from California, and do some quality stuff and time spending with her and my husband, who also has a free day, which he doesn't have much recently either. So, and now I've been working there over a year. I have only missed 2 days of work because I got COVID after we went to the Caribbean cruise. I got out of it pretty quick, so I went back to work pretty quick. So, and that's also one of the reasons why it happened, was because I have taken care of my health so well for the last 6 years that I know really quick ways how to get yourself out of disease, and I also know why this happened, So for me to just like kind of go home early or like do stuff like that, which I'm not supposed to do, I come from a culture and from the way I was raised was really like, you have to do, if you have said something, you have to do it, you have to follow through. You are not this kind of a girl who is just like kind of bailing out or like doing stuff. My other coworkers on the other side have done it many times. One maybe 5 to 10 times, another has even like missed days, like, there was time like where she was like just calling in the morning, sorry, I'm sick. And then it was like maybe once a month or so. So, and now think what kind of balls I had to really take to get it to that level, to ask like, okay, first my coworkers, and then secondly, also let the owners know that this is the case, And I know my coworkers can totally manage it, and it's not a big deal. It was just like 3 hours earlier, but it took a lot from me, and really like do something out of the ordinary, something I'm not doing. And one of the ways my inner woman was guiding me in this process was, see, Crystal, this is what I'm talking about. Become who and what you love. And this time with my mother-in-law and my husband, because today was just the day when, everyone kind of had that little extra time. This time will never come back. If I'm not using this time now, this is the currency. It will never come back. I will never get that back. So understanding and looking at it from that perspective, which is very inner woman kind of style of thing. So she's looking at it from like that value perspective, like, oh my God, And as we were doing this little extra tour for my mother-in-law, kind of getting to the downtown, checking out some shops and kind of the riverside and so on, and driving a little bit more in different areas and so on. So I was sitting in the car and I said, like, I could do this every day and, all day. Just, show someone around, have fun, and, do a little bit of work, but then mostly what I love and what I'm here for, coaching and readings and speaking and writing and adventure retreats and all of that. So I'm so, so grateful to all of these triggers and impulses I've got these recent days. This morning, as I was talking to my husband a little bit, I was just crying like a baby. And I really felt like I didn't even want to go to work. I felt like I want to be in a cave, just like curled up. And it just felt like I don't want to do anything with the world anymore. It just feels like, what's the point? They don't see me, they don't hear me, they don't appreciate and acknowledge me. Like, what's the point? Like, such a low moment. And then my husband asked me a question. So, but when you are in the cave, how are we going to get to that tropical beach where we want to live in the future? And I was kind of jokingly saying like, yeah, but what if this cave is on that tropical island? I was like, yeah, but not on the beach. I said, why not? So kind of going into the flow of it, right? So, and as I had to go to work, I continued to cry, and I didn't stop my crying. I was like crying all this, 15 minutes, like getting into the work. And I just let those tears run, because tears are your inner feminine's way of kind of letting go of that bitterness and sadness. And this is your water element flowing out of you, in a beautiful way. So I let that happen. As I sit down, my coworker is coming in and she's looking at me, and she's also very psychic. And she's like, Crystal, what's happening? Like, you seem so sad. And of course, by that time I had like freshened up, and kind of my eyes probably were still kind of, red. And she's like, what's going on? You're like so sad. I didn't say anything like what happened in the morning. So we talked a little bit about it, and she's a very dear friend as well. So that was really good to kind of, share that to someone who knows me for a while now. And what was so fun was like the first hour, I was like, okay, so how can we turn this around? Just like asking that question. And all of the people who were coming the next 2 or 3 hours were all very joyful, very full of energy. It was just the opposite of sadness. So it was like, showing us like, yeah, life is polarities. You can focus on the sadness or the joy. It's like choice is yours, So all in all, a very beautiful day, starting with the tears, walking through the joy, then really having the balls to set down my boundaries and saying like, okay, girls, I'm going to go early. And then even all my coworkers, without me even telling them like, okay, go to, lunch, they watched their timelines themselves. So by 2:30, I was out of there. And even though I didn't get hold of the owners, I sent them a message and also a voice message. I didn't feel guilty at all. I didn't feel guilty at all. And that's really rare in my case, So these things are very based in the divine feminine. And once we start to connect with her on daily basis and really build that beautiful relationship, she can really help us in so many ways beyond our wildest dreams. And I have experienced that so many times. So do, work with this alignment question for the next 24 hours. And see like what pops up and what alignment do you need to change in your life. And then take it seriously, also like implement it. So if I look into my current life, I know what other alignments I have to change and do. And I've been starting to do them more and more. It can be as little as, for example, you have a little carpet in your bathroom which has a color you hate. And like in our case, like there was one carpet like that, and it didn't align with me. And just to please my husband, I didn't say anything for a year. But then as our mother-in-law came and we needed like extra mat for her, I said, okay, we can borrow it for her. and just saying, this color I actually have not really liked, and I have actually trouble with this. So if she doesn't want it, we can actually throw it away afterwards. And that took also quite a bit of balls to say that and kind of stop that pleasing thing, because as women, we oftentimes go into that pleasing energy. So yesterday, I was also like inviting you all to kind of have a little meeting with your divine feminine. And if you are not familiar with this, you have maybe no clue, like, hey, Crystal, I have no clue how to do it. So what I will do, I will put also under the guides in the group a little free gift meditation, which is called inner family meditation. So which is the first time, if you have never met them, how I guide you how to meet them, and then go into a deeper process. And I probably make also another post where those of you who go through this also will probably meet some animals, and you will see the dynamic how your inner family is connecting with the animals if you get any gifts. And when you write those down there, what happens is that I can actually help to interpret those, or also see what those connections could be, and then guide you a little bit, like also how to look at that. So we can do one Facebook Live where I just kind of take that post and see who has said what, and then kind of go through that. I will also do another thing in the group. I'll put like one question post, so where you can just put all the questions you have about deep diving to the divine feminine, inner woman, inner archetypes, inner world, or anything to do with the feminine, aspect, or with the sentence be, become, who and what you love. What does that mean for you? Where are you stuck with that? And then also if you are stuck actually connecting with your divine feminine, because when you are, then this will be a real challenge, So, and we don't want that. We want flow and ease. So I'm here to guide you guys. But if you don't join the group, if you don't, put your things in there, there's nothing to reflect. So I'm talking to the wall. I'm still in this invisible space. So it needs a little bit of implementation and action from your side as well. And what I love about this journey is I don't know where we are gonna end up by the end of the 30th day. So this will be a total exploration and, adventure for me as well. I totally trust it. I will also upload all the videos also to YouTube, and later, right now, for the next 30 days, I keep the group open, but then I will close the group, and then I'll also, then I will also turn all of the videos in the group, which are in the group and on Facebook, like unlisted, so people who don't have the links actually can't see them anymore. So this is like kind of like a beta test, because in the future I want to also open an amazing community for new time women, and I can talk a little more about that also within this month. I want to open Quantum Queen community or tribe, and I know already so many ideas my inner woman has been throwing at me what this entails. Quantum Queens are usually high achieving women, and they oftentimes get really stuck. They have given everything. They may feel so empty. They may have lots of success, lots of achievements, but they are really empty inside. And I have worked with so many people like that, and it's been so amazing to turn this around. So I'm here. Thank you everyone who has been here live. I'm really stepping into like a full vulnerability of who I am, shredding more layers, talking about my shadows as well. I've done so much shadow work over these last 3 decades. It's just like I think there is not much left under the sun which I haven't done. So all of these experiences have given me lots of inspiration and lots of ideas and so on. So which I can of course also share, but mostly I'm here for you, but also I am guiding what and sharing what stuff is coming up for me. So let me see what I have here. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, so thank you so much for today, and let me know if you have what was the highlight of today's beautiful meeting here. And also let me know if you have any questions. You can post them also underneath here. If you know women who would really need this kind of deep diving into the feminine, and also really like discover who their deeper inner woman is, and want to do it in a safe space like that, then just share. I'll put also the group link underneath this video, so that they can join. So thank you so much, and have fun with this alignment question for the next 24 hours. And see you again tomorrow. Let's see what reveals itself. Bye.